Freestyle Friday to get you ready for your weekend. And as always, that means that there is only one way that we can start things off. One way only. Here we go.
Come on, man. Go for it, dude.
It's Friday! Friday! Day.
It is indeed. John, hear you there. Thanks for dropping by. Stacked show. A lot of information to get into for the weekend. We've got news out of Canada about their rights agreements, or media rights agreements that just came across. Spurs have a new interim manager. Nick is not impressed. And we've got FA Cup to talk about. We've got a little CONCACAF to get into. We've got Major League Soccer to get into because they had their big rollout yesterday of how things are going to be looking when it comes to their on-air product. And so we'll go through all of that, plus the release of the first 30-second ad to get everybody jacked up for the 2026 season. We've got kit releases, and we have a person from the SDH footprint wearing one of said kits. We'll get into that. We've got Creek Cup to get into. Day 1 is in the books. Day 2 is coming up at 6 o'clock. It's a doubleheader day once again at Johns Creek and at Northview. Maddie and Jason will be at Johns Creek. Drew and I will be at Northview to go through all of the matchups. We'll go through what happened day 1, get you ready for day 2, and we're going to effort catching up with coaches as they are heading toward Creek Cup, because there are some coaches that are playing today that kind of had to leave like 3 days ago. And I say that somewhat facetiously, but some coaches have had to leave this morning to head north. We're going to try to catch up with one of them if 5G agrees with us. And so that is the rundown for most of the show today. Like I said, we do have some breaking news and developing stories and things like that. We'll get you ready for the weekend. Remember, it's an FA Cup weekend. It is not a Premier League weekend. We'll go over the juice boxes in the FA Cup and get you ready for all the things coming up here in just a little bit over the next 2 hours. And then we're going to get ready for Creek Cup up at Johns Creek. And once again, thanks to everybody at Johns Creek and Northview for rolling out the carpet for us and getting us ready for anything and everything that's going on with the tournament. It was really cool to get things moving yesterday. And the matchups that we have today, especially in the Titan bracket that Drew and I are going to have tonight, Islands and GMC, and then Tallulah Falls and Northview. Caught up with Jeremy Steele, the head coach at Tallulah Falls, the upper school dean as well. And so he'll be a part of the 8 o'clock action, and he will be taking on the host Northview on the boys' side. Then it's Islands and GMC at 6 o'clock. That one's a sneaky good matchup. 2 different classifications, 2 different dominant programs in said classifications. And it will be interesting and intriguing to see how those two go together. And that's what Kelly Bowler wanted when he was trying to organize the tournament and figure out, okay, what kind of new matchups can we have? And people not flinching about those kinds of things today over at Johns Creek. It's going to be Gilmer and Dunwoody on the boys' side. That's going to be at 6 o'clock. And then at 8 o'clock following, the host Johns Creek are going to take on Lee County. So once again, you're getting some new faces into Creek Cup, and it's going to be really fun to see how everything comes together. Last night over at Johns Creek, it was Chattahoochee and Carrollton, and it was that was the nightcap. First matchup on the day was the girls matchup with Dunwoody and Johns Creek. Like I said, we'll go over all the results. And remember, winners from yesterday and today advance to Johns Creek to play tomorrow. And the third place games for the teams that lose on yesterday and today, they go third place games, and those are at Northview, noon, 2, and 4 on Saturday. So it's noon, 2, 4, and 6 at Johns Creek on Saturday, noon, 2, and 4 at Northview on Saturday. So that's going to be the fun part there. Coming up with all of the high school tournaments and the non-region stuff that you're getting into early on where you want to test yourself. So very, very cool stuff there. And once again, it's fun to do Creek Cup because it gives us our kind of official rollout. We had Roswell and River Ridge on Tuesday to start our week off, to be our official kickoff. And now you've got Creek Cup to really get us into the rhythm of everything. And it's a blast to get ready for all of this. On the weekend, remember Atlanta United for season ticket holders in Frisco, Texas. They get to take on FC Dallas. That's going to be in venue only, no stream tomorrow. So you get to come and hang out with us or watch us on the listen to us on the SDH app, and you can go to soccerdownhere.net. Easiest way to do it for anything that we do audio wise, whether it's the twos, whether it's high school, or this kind of programming. If you're not attached to your computers and your devices and everything, then what you can do is you can go to soccerdownhere.net, go to the website, hit the listen tab, and there are a bunch of different columns that you can trigger into. If you see a red flashing light, then that means that there's something live on the network, and it gives you the rundown as to what it is. Whether it's SDH1, SDH2, or here, then you get all that rundown and everything that's attached to it all. And make the experience an entire weekend of experiences. So there you go. Morning, Ricky. Morning, David. Morning, Abby. And yeah, we'll get into the kit. Okay. So we'll get into that. Morning, Dell. Welcome back. So I do want to get into the new kit. I'm in trouble. I'm just going to go ahead and say it right now. But yeah, after our first guest, then I want to get into the new kit because, yeah, I'm in serious trouble. And we'll get into now. Abby, let me know where that ranking is. So 22 out of 30. Abby has it as Atlanta United's new kit, 22 out of 30. So let me know where that is, and we can probably sit there and parse through it all and go and look at kits and things like that too. Reminder also, a week from today, obviously it's the day before opening day weekend in Major League Soccer. We are going to have, once again, the show of chaos, where our friends at Major League Soccer get to line up all of our friends at Apple TV that have time that could come in and visit with us, say their piece, and get out. So Friday, we're going to have part of it. Casey White is going to return on Tuesday, so she'll kind of start things off for us next week. Tuesday at 10 o'clock is KCD's new time slot. So she'll start off Tuesday. She'll kind of get us wound up and get us into the week. But Friday is going to be a week from today, the show of chaos, where everybody who wants to hop in from Apple TV can, and we get their thoughts on the season getting in. So a week from today, the show of chaos returns for everything in Major League Soccer with our friends at Apple TV. So that was kind of cool that we got that notification yesterday, as a matter of fact. So it was interesting to find out that Apple TV is in for another show of chaos, and we'll do that a week from today. Okay. It is time to talk about the cup that the world is chasing after in 2026. And we know that there are a lot of you who are here in this particular market where we're based. You're going to the venue because there's half a dozen matches, and you're just going to sit there and you're going to take Marta and you're going to do your thing. There are some folks that might be coming into the country, and they're going to be like, well, hey, what do I do to try to navigate and going from point A to point B? Because my favorite team is going to be in New York. They're going to be at the Meadowlands. Then they might be in Kansas City. Then they might be in Seattle. Then they might be in Los Angeles. Then they might be going to Jerry World. How do we tackle these kinds of things? Someone has an answer, and they have raised their hand and said, hey, I want to talk to you about my answer. And for this, we go to Balmer and catch up with Dr. Jen Fry and find out what's going on. Doc, what is up?
John, can you hear me?
Yep, you're good.
Hey, what's going on, friend?
You tell me. You're the one that you're into the core. Let me see if I had the word. Hang on. Let me see if I can pronounce it correctly. The coordination.
Coordination, yes. So coordination plus people.
Yes, the Coordle Nation. And so you have introduced the Coordle app, and it's 2 O's. So Coordle for those following along. She is the Grand Exalted Poobah of the app, and we wanted to find out, okay, let us know about this app so our soccer-loving folks who are going from city to city can find out what exactly they can do to make sure that this chaos that could be upon them does not turn as chaotic as it normally is, even when we're traveling from point A to point B just to get to appointments. First off, let me ask, how'd you come up with the idea of the Coordle app?
So I come to you from volleyball. I was a college volleyball coach for about 15 years, coached all over the world, all over the US. And with youth and college sports, it's all about moving groups. You are moving groups consistently all the time. Small groups of 9, 10, 11, big groups of 30, 40. You're always moving people. And I've had that experience for almost 15 years. And what really came to a halt was my PhD graduation. You've been to a graduation. Everyone's coming in. Everyone's asking, where are we going? What are we doing? The graduate's mom makes the Excel spreadsheet. No one ever looks at the Excel spreadsheet, and everyone just says, tell me where to go, right? Everyone just is texting, where are we going, John? Hey, do you know the address? People are going to the wrong place to eat, the wrong location. And I just said, there has to be a better way to solve it. And so that's what I did was I said, okay, let me build out this product that makes it easy, accessible. You have one source of truth. You know exactly where you're going to go and what you're going to do 100%. There's no questions. No, look at this calendar invite. That's actually in the wrong time zone. Go search your email for this PDF. Go look for this one text in the threads. You don't have to do that. And so that's really where it came up with my PhD graduation.
And so how much, I guess, so A, how long ago was this? And then B, subset 2, how long did we go from thought to implementation? How long a path are we talking here?
Woo! So I got my PhD in sports geography. So I'm probably one of the only sport geographers in the world. And a part of my dissertation was my lit review was looking also at soccer and soccer stadiums. And a thing that people don't understand is that sport is highly geographical. Fandom is very geographical. Think about the different areas of fandom and how very specific the fandom is. You can't take certain fans and put them in another stadium. It will not work. That's how you get beat up. I'm just saying that's how you get beat up. And so fandom is very geographical. There is a really good 30 for 30 on the Raiders. And to me, it's a geographical element because I'm from Arizona. And when the Raiders were in, I think it was Oakland, it was like Snoop Dogg used to have the Raiders fitted cap. You had the champion Raiders jacket, the lowrider cars. It had a very Black and Hispanic demographic. And then when it moved, the demographic changed, right? And then they tried to bring it back and people were like, it's not the same. And so fandom is very geographical. Training is very geographical. I'll take it, even though this is soccer, I'll take baseball. If you look at Japanese training, Asian training to Dominican training, Cuban, very, very different. So sport is geographical in all ways. And so that's a part of my dissertation. And then to answer your question, I have always hated like all the PDFs and right final version 1, 2, 3. You know what I'm saying? Like how many you're looking for all these final versions. You go into your email to look for that one Delta flight and Google takes you back to 2017. And you're like, we both know I'm looking for 2026. Like we both know that. And so during my graduation, I built out this spreadsheet with everyone's flights, with hotel information. All we had was like 6 group chats of everyone. I'm trying to walk and I'm trying to like check my phone to make sure people know where to sit. Like, why am I doing that? And so literally I graduated beginning of May. And then mid-May, I was like, let me see if I can solve this. And I jumped to it very naive. And if any of you are thinking about a tech platform, holler at me. I will help you through it before you jump your time and money into it. And holler at me. And so I did what most non-technical founders do that's wrong. You're like, I want to solve this thing. I'm just going to jump into it. And like, I'm also a professional speaker. So I talk about conflict. I'm a very well-known speaker. So I dumbly thought I was doing like the Olympics 3-meter board, right? Like I'm going from speaking, which I'm well-known, to tech. It's going to be easy peasy lemon squeezy. Actually, I was jumping off the Red Bull 29-meter and had no clue, right? The clouds part and I'm like, oh, we're actually higher than I thought. And so the start of it was probably a few weeks after my graduation. And the start of it will always be the easiest part. The getting your C Corp, LLC, your name, your logo. All of that is the easiest.
Yeah.
Once you dive into it, because your first idea is never the one you stick with ever. Ever, ever. It's kind of like your strategy in sport. The strategy you go in with, that's going to flip, turn, all of that.
Yeah, especially it's like everybody's got a plan until they get what is it Mike Tyson said? Everybody's got a plan until they get punched in the mouth. Yeah.
Oh, and in tech, you wish you got punched in the mouth. You get some rib shots, you get a kidney shot, you over here, your ears ringing, a punch in the mouth, you can see it coming, right? Like, I think that's actually, John, that's a perfect analogy. A punch to the mouth, you see it coming, you can understand the distances. You don't get punched in the mouth in tech. You get the rib shot that came out of nowhere. You get the kidney shot, and you're like, where did who did that? Right?
Yep.
Like, you get these shots that you don't expect, and you have to get up and keep figuring out different ways to then land your shot, because the shot you thought you had is not going to work.
In the World Cup itself, you're talking about more than a dozen different host cities.
16, yep.
And you're talking about what? Seven and 7 is 49. So say 42 days worth of travel if you go from A to B, just as an example. You want to come in early, you want to get settled, you want to do everything, you want to finish at the Meadowlands, you want to go home.
Yeah.
So if you're talking that many host cities, that many days, you're talking about factorials and you're talking about math, two things that give me headaches.
Mm-hmm.
How do you sit there and how does Coordle work to where, okay, I'm hopping in at this venue and this time, lay it all out for me in 3 dimensions. What is Coordle sitting there and saying, okay, I need to know your itinerary and then we'll bust this out? How does all this integrate?
Yeah, what we try and do is make it really, really simple. So one of the parts about fandom is you love traveling in a group, right? You want to experience it with people. And the biggest issue is that you're experiencing the joy with people than the pain point of it. And so what we look at solving is saying, okay, you know you're going to have to go to all of these different venues to watch your favorite team. You want to follow Canada. So you know you're going to have to go to quite a few venues. And so what we say is you put your code in, you put your username and password, name your trip, you put your days, and then boom, it's built out for you. Your weather is built out because you have to know the weather. You could be in Toronto and have to be wearing, some snow boots, and then you go to Dallas and then you're going to be in a tank top. So weather's built out, the game schedule's there, any fan festival information, anything of that nature is there. From that point, we try and make it easy peasy, meaning you screenshot your flight, it parses it and puts it in there. And what we're going to be actually building in a second is that if you want to have real-time tracker, it's going to be $10 for the trip. To have your real-time flight versus texting flight 592, flight 68. We don't want you having to do that. Once you book your hotel, you put it in there. And so we say is all that logistical information, we're going to be the place that you're going to put it in there. And then whatever people are on your trip, if I see you, John, like, hey, John, you're still coming? Cool. Hey, take this QR code. Automatically, you sign up, you're in the trip. Oh, here, we already have a group of soccer parents. You put the link in there and they can sign up and they're in the trip. And then they can add their information. Because what we know is that people, this is not, it's a polygon, right? People are adding all different types of information. And the current systems are built for one person, one itinerary. And so we say, how do we build one trip for multiple people and multiple itineraries? And so that's what we do is we build that information in so that you have the one place that you can put it. We don't help with the mapping of stuff because what we realize is that many people are going to kind of do that on their own. Now, the question is, are they going to add in additional cities? So for instance, I was in Chicago yesterday and they said Chicago is going to be kind of this center hub for people who are doing cross-country travel. They're going to want to stop in one place and then go to another place. And, if you're going to come here, I think the average, they say is 12 days that people are going to be spending. And so people are going to have a lot of information, not only from the host cities, but also from other adjacent cities that they're going to be in. So really making sure that we can help them with that information. You have a one-stop shop for everything you need in one place.
Coordle app, and it's Coordle, and that's the app that you download. So remember, it's 2 O's. It's not just one. So think of coordination and people. So Coordle, you're Coordling here. And when it comes to using AI and the most accurate technology and all these kinds of things, how is all of this integrating into where it is a 21st century experience trying to get all of this together? How does it respond, say, if weather all of a sudden turns into a massive problem for you and tries to reorient? Does it help you out in real time? It's like, I've got something going on here at my hub. I've got to reorient something and figure out how does it do things and help you out in real time if things
That's a
start to
good
fall
one.
down around you.
Oh, I like that. And if anyone has any suggestion what they would like to see, message me. Because when you're in it, some of those nuances you don't realize. And the good thing is we're building it in real time. So if you say, hey, when things fall apart, this is an addition we would like to see, please let me know. You can reach me on Coordle on all social media. My email is jen@coordle.com. And that's the type of stuff we want to know is what, because the problem can be is this idea of feature creep where you add all these features that people just don't need. And now it gets really bulky and heavy. And so we want to make sure that the features that we have are the ones that people will use and need, and not trying to just shift through all these random features that we thought people would want, but actually don't have any interest in.
So what the early feedback on this, what things have you been able to sit there and go, oh, I like that idea. Let's adjust this and add this to the pie here. What early suggestions have you gotten that have helped you out in this process?
Ooh, so one thing we're going to be building out is, so we have it right now city by city. So what you'll do is you'll go to the website, coordle.com, click on the World Cup part, you'll find your city, and then you'll just add your information. And so what we're looking at now is adding in where you just have one long itinerary, if that's what you want. So you want to be able to have, Toronto, then Chicago, Kansas City. And so building out so you can have one long one if that's what you want to choose. And so seeing what does that look like and feel like, because I will tell you, foundational stuff is very easy. The nuance is what beats you up. And so for us, the nuance is how do we make sure the weather is shown in your different cities in one long itinerary? Because that's the stuff that's like, what's it going to be looking at? And where are the pause moments that say, okay, we're reorienting to a new city? And so those are the type of nuanced things that people also need assistance with. And so like you said, when the weather is bad, what things do people want help with? We see there's so many different flight and hotel platforms to purchase that we were like, I don't know if right now we want to add that in, if that's going to help people, because people are going to use points over here. They'll stay at an Airbnb, right? They'll go stay with a friend. So do we need to have the buying of the hotel? Is that something that people need? Or do people say, we're going to be in the US for 15 days and we're going to hit 6 cities, and 2 of them are not World Cup cities. So we need to still have the place for all of that. So that's the stuff that we really want to nuance down that people aren't even thinking of. I mean, let me see. I was pulling up some of the information. Let me find. And they were talking about some of the cities that have the easiest route. So like Group I has the easiest route. And then they said that Group J actually has the worst one because of how much they're having to ping pong through. They're having to go a total of 6,424 miles, which is 5.5 times longer than Group I. And so Group I has rail cities. It's a lot easier, major hubs. And then you have Group J, which is 6,424 miles, no hubs. You're ping-ponging travel. All right. And so thinking about that aspect of it, of how do we, looking at these schedules, how do we help them, knowing that in there's going to be potentially some cities that they just want to go and hang at. And so I would just really ask anyone, like, what is it you want help with? And then we can kind of see that nuance. How can we solve that problem?
What's the turnaround time when someone asks you a question and you want to sit there and workshop the problem? I know that you would have to workshop the problem on your end and help out the person asking the question who's got probably a time constraint on their end. What's turnaround time for something like this in Q&A?
So one of the things that's fascinating, John, when I talked about when I jumped into it back in 2022, I said, you need to have an app. You need to have an app. You need to have an app. And so we built out a fully functioning app in iOS and in Android. And, our main component is youth sports. That's our main component. So if anyone here is from a soccer academy, holler at me. I know you're going to be taking people to the World Cup, so you'll need us for this and your normal travel. So our main thing is youth sports. And so we said, we need an app. And a lot of people said, we don't want to download another app, right? We have 15 club administration platform apps that we have to download just to register. Just right now, and let's talk about bigger overall. Any ticket you need, you have to buy it. You have to download the app, right? You have to download the Ticketmaster app, the Live Nation app, every ticket now you have to download the app. So people are tired of apps. So about 4 months ago, I just said, people said they're tired of apps. What if I just rebuilt this? And so it's a web responsive app, meaning when you can actually add the icon to your homepage of your phone. So what it looks like is that you literally have the icon.
There you go.
And you click on it and it sends you to the website. So you're not downloading the app. And so the turnaround, back to your question, I mean, I can probably turn it around in 3 hours.
Nice. Okay.
And so I say that so say if John, you came and you said, hey, Jen, I think that, so for instance, I have a really large group, almost 150 people using it right now. And the person said, hey, it would be nice if the chat was in alphabetical order. Okay. So that took me 10 minutes to something like that, a nuanced change. That's not going to be anything. Now, if you ask for a bigger change, that might take longer. And there's going to be bugs because there's the spindles that have to connect that we might not see on our end. So if you come to me, you're like, hey, can you make this addition? And I'm like, this is a really good idea. Oh, also, if you find a bug on the platform and you send it in, you get a $5 gift card from Starbucks. So if you find a bug, and if you give us a feature idea and we implement it, we'll also give you a $5 Starbucks card. And so if you have this idea, but there's a lot of spindles to it, just know that there's going to be bugs that when we test it, we're going to test it in a different way you're going to be using it. And so just report the bugs and we can fix them within 20, 30 minutes. Okay. But I think that's the biggest thing I didn't realize as well is the bugs that come with the different nuanced uses. We can come out and say, okay, let's try all these use cases. And you as the user are going to use it in different ways and bugs are going to pop up and we can turn that stuff around pretty fast. And that's what I'm proud about is our customer service and turning around because our platform is different than anything else. Meaning if one person doesn't work, the whole group doesn't work. Right? It's not like other platforms where you can get away with a few people not knowing. No, when it comes to group travel and you have a 40-person group coming and our platform is what you're using. And if one person can't use it, no one can use it. Because guess what happens? They're like, okay, well, we'll just move it to the group chat. Well, now you've moved it off the platform for the one person. And so that's why we try and make sure that we are paying attention to fixing bugs because we don't want you to have to move it because of one person, right? One person can't do it. No one can. And so we are very cognizant. That's what makes our platform different than anything else because all the information is in one place and everyone has to have access.
Coordle app, 2 O's, and with the app, this is the first time I've heard of this. Of course, I'm not all the most technologically inclined, but the first time I've heard that if you download an icon, it goes to a website instead of an app, so no one's downloading another app. That's new to me. I've never heard that before.
So it's called a web response app.
Okay.
And so when you could use it on your computer, your iPad, or your phone, and it shifts to each size. So how it looks on your phone is literally like what it would look like on an app. How it looks like on your computer is literally what it looks like on a website because people just got tired of downloading apps. And I understand that. And so I said, how can we make sure people have the information and you got to download the app. Chick-fil-A, you got to download the app. You got to go to get your oil changed. And it's like, how do we make it easier?
And you guys are trying to do that. So one more time, you can download the app. 2 O's, remember, Coordle. Download the app, but you
don't even download the app. You just go to the website you go to the website and you sign in, you do all that jazz, and you can either continue just to go to Coordle.com or you can add, and we have directions in our help aspect or our help studies where you can just learn how to quickly put the icon on your home screen and then it's there the whole time. And so you're not worried about downloading another app. So we wanted to meet you in the middle where no more apps and you always have access to the information.
And Dr. Jen, I cannot thank you enough for letting us know about this, especially since we are under 120 days before the world comes to this hemisphere, and it is all over the place and testing all of the infrastructure that we have here in the U.S.
Woo, child, everything.
Cannot thank you enough for dropping by. And let's see, Michigan State, I don't know about their football program this fall. It's going to be tough. It's going to be tough.
Ron, it's been tough the last like 4 years. It's been tough.
No doubt about it. And so we're going to keep an eye on things in the B1G. We're going to keep an eye on things there with Coordle. Thanks for dropping by and letting us know what's going on a Friday. Really appreciate it. And let us know how things continue to evolve as we get closer to the World Cup, eh?
Yeah, I appreciate it. You go there, and the first trip is free, and any additional trips cost $10 total.
Good deal.
Not per person, total.
Sweet. Dr. Jen, thanks again. We'll see you soon.
Yep. Bye, friend.
There we go. That's Dr. Jen Fry and Coordle. COO. Let me do the font thing here in the lower thirds. So it is COORDLE. It's the Coordle app, and you really get to see what's going on with them. And so Coordle.com, and it will also, and don't wig out, because it will also take you to, and there's also an AI attachment to it. So Coordle.com and CoordleAI.com. So that's where it is. And you can go there. The web responsive app is available, so you can go to one of those two places, takes you to Coordle, and you can get things squared away from there. You and your groups all around the planet trying to figure out where to go from point A to point B and point C and point F and point M and all of that stuff with the cup coming over here that the world is going to be trying to chase after in 2026. Go and see what Dr. Jen and her friends at Coordle have to hopefully help you out and get you from point A to point B. I had to ask the question about weather because weather is always a wild card, especially in the southern markets. And if there are adjustments that have to be made on the fly, because, if you are reliant on a particular piece of software, then, okay, what about point A, point B? Oh, crap, it's raining and I'm on the clock. What do I do? And so that was why I wanted to ask that particular question when it came to Coordle and what Dr. Jen and her friends are developing over there at Coordle. So thanks for making sure that we know about Coordle. We'll keep an eye on that as we go. And if you kick the tires on it, then just let us know what's going on with feedback and such. And so let us know and let Dr. Jen know and everybody at Coordle. And she reached out to us, and we were like, okay, with the cup the world's chasing in 26 coming this way, anything that can help out big groups and a lot of host cities and trying to get from point A to point B and help things out. She said 12 days is supposed to be the average visit. And I hope that's mostly in city and not like in airport, like in concourse or anything, that most of that time in that 12 days is spent in venue, going from point A to point B and enjoying your experience and not being stuck in an airport. So that's Dr. Jen Fry and everybody at Coordle. So that's the way to kick off your day here on SDH. And so once again, like I said, give it a shot and see what happens and let us know what's going on. Dr. Jen reached out to us, and we'll go from there. So once again, Dr. Jen Fry and Coordle, 2 O's, COORDLE.com. And like I said, it'll register as CoordleAI.com. And that's why I asked about the AI component too. So we'll give it a shot and see what happens. And then let us know if you have any groups that have been using it, and give us the feedback that you want to give us, and give her the feedback that they need as well as they're developing this whole process. Okay. All right. The rundown for the rest of the day is this. We got to talk Creek Cup because that's on the network. That's later today. We will talk about that. We are going to be efforting coaches as they are heading toward Johns Creek and Northview. And some coaches are going to be traveling a great distance to get there from their homes to up here to play tonight and play tomorrow. And so once again, I would go back into the Red Clay Soccer Report and go back and listen to our discussion about the orchestration of getting all of these clubs up here and coming up with different fun matchups and all this kind of stuff. So it was fun to catch up with Kelly Bowler on the Red Clay Soccer Report back on Wednesday, brought to us by our friends at Kaiser Permanente. And we get to hopefully catch up, 5G permitting, with one of the coaches on the road in the 10 o'clock hour. So we'll see what's going to happen there. Okay, now let's get into all of the other news that's fit to print and going on. And we'll start with Atlanta United. Cesar Luis Merlo let us know on the collective that it appears that Atlanta United is in the interest of a particular player in the crosshairs. And we will kind of workshop the idea and see what is going on, because there's time in the window for the addition of players, but you want to get them in the barn and you want to get them all squared away, because you're 7 days away from actual wins and losses and all that kind of stuff. And so it was announced yesterday by Cesar Luis Merlo, Matias Galarza Fonda. And so you have Matias Galarza Fonda is being looked at apparently by Atlanta United, as it was put out into the ethers that Atlanta United is interested. And so Herman Garcia Grova opening talks with the idea of from River Plate. And River Plate is in a world of hurt right now. That's a separate story. But Herman Garcia Grova, Atlanta United, apparently, according to Herman Garcia Grova, opening talks, evaluating a loan with an option to buy for the midfielder from River. And in case it goes through, the River will have a position that they're going to have to reinforce on the roster heading into January, February, March 12th. And so this is what you're looking at. So Matias Galarza Fonda, shows you how awake I am, man. All right, so let's go into the transfer marked machine, and let's get all the details on Matias Galarza Fonda and his time at River Plate. So you go in and the profile, checking all the numbers once again, it is a Paraguayan central midfielder, 24 years of age. Right now, according to Transfermarkt, the value is at about €3 million. And the majority of the time is spent in central midfield, although Galarza Fonda has played as both a 6 and a 9. 13 apps for the Paraguayan national team, debuting back in 2022. 2 goals in his time there. Highest market value that he had, according to Transfermarkt, was back in September of last year. It was €3.5 million. Right now at €3 million. And Galarza Fonda is listed on Instagram. So what we will do is in the 407,000 followers of Mati Galarza F, we will hit follow, and we'll see if there's anything that would be helping out the situation there. Perhaps, maybe some notifications on social media and stuff. Carlos Leite is the player agent, and so we will check and see if Carlos Leite has any familiar players that are attached. Carlos Leite Sports, based out of Rio de Janeiro. 47 players, half of them in the first tier of their respective divisions. He represents Joao Gomes and Andre, who are currently at Wolves. Gerson, who is at Palmeiras. Gabriel Peck, who is with LAG. That number hits at you instantly when you're going, oh, okay, players represented. You hit that one. Then you have Paulinho with Palmeiras. You've got Talis Magno with NYCFC. And Galarza Fonda, who is listed as 369, tied for 9th in value at the Leite agency. So a top 10 valued player in the agency, and dual citizenship for Galarza Fonda with both Paraguay and Bolivia. So other players that are in this barn for Carlos Leite, Mike Cohn at the age of 37, who we know from his time in the past, currently playing at Coritiba, and then everybody else from there. But 21st team players out of the Leite agency, and top 10 in financial evaluation from Transfermarkt, as Galarza Fonda, the central midfielder who's at the age of 24. Remember, Talis Magno, Gabriel Peck, who are also in Major League Soccer, are attached to Leite as well. Now, getting into the stats and the numbers for Galarza Fonda, looking at stats in the overall. So all seasons, let's get into this. But once again, central midfielder, has spent time in front and behind, but mainly a central midfielder. So all seasons so far, no appearances in the Apertura for River Plate, played in how many different competitions? Wow. Coming from Tacheras to River Plate, in the 25 season. So with Teixeira 17 matches, then another 14, so 31 appearances, all comps last year for both Teixeira's and River Plate. Before that, in the 24 year for Teixeira's, 15 and 18, so 15, 18, 42 appearances and 4 goals, 2 assists. So seemingly pretty much a stay-at-home midfielder, with the exception of the time that was, I mean, a couple of goals here and there, 10 goals in the career, 6 assists, but mainly a stay-at-home central midfielder from at least from a statistical standpoint. Time at Teixeira, 68 matches, 5 goals, 2 assists, 58 at Vasco da Gama, 5 goals, 4 assists. River Plate, 14 appearances so far, and no goals or assists. As a central midfielder, 2-2 when the 35 appearances there in his career. Attacking midfielder, he has 4 goals and 1 assist. And then, midfield it looks like he can be put in any of 4 separate positions where he has played. Central midfield, attacking midfield, left or defensive, and he has played some time on the wings in his career, 7 appearances on both left and right wing, but mainly central midfielder. Central midfielder is, of the majority of the matches, central midfielder is where the time has been spent for a player like Matias Galarza-Fonda. So keep an eye out for that. Central midfielder, Paraguayan national, dual citizenship, 24 years old, out of River Plate. And so when Herman Garcia Grova says something, that's a tier 1 source, and you got to keep an eye on that. And we'll see what goes from here. But keep an eye out, once again, River Plate, who is in a world of hurt their own selves, and we'll see what happens there. But that's what you're looking at when it comes to Atlanta United. And the idea is, oh no, Interbout, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so nothing like a Friday to sit there and go, you Interbout, with various numbers and letters in behind, you're going to be blocked. And so you're also going to be reported. Why do you want to do that to a man on a Friday? It's the end of the week, and you want to sit there, and it's like, you want to have your own time in peace. All right. Now, after this, and after we get this all squared away, I want to get into what Abby was talking about with the jersey rankings, solicitation bot, B-O-T. Now, and thank you for letting me know where those numbers actually are. And coming up, you've seen on the network, where Maddie has given her memories about how the sport has impacted her and what the new jersey looks like and everything. Okay, jersey power rankings from the 4-letter. Here we go. Now, they list Atlanta. No, I don't want to watch. I'm not interested in watching the 4-letter network. Literally, I hit the thing, and it's like giving me, this is angering me. Okay, so for some reason, it decided it wanted to sit there and let me watch TV, and I'm like, no. All right, so ranking of the kits. And once again, just going into this, just remember that it's always going to be subjective, and you don't know who is looking at it. You don't know where they're based. You don't know what they're looking at. So let's get into let's tell you what. Let's go from the bottom. Let's go from the bottom and figure out really if there are 8 that are worse than Atlanta United's. Well, let's go from the bottom. Instead of looking at the ones that everybody sits there and goes, oh, that's great. Let's go and say, okay, well, this stinks. This stinks. All right, so let's go to the bottom. They've got Houston at the bottom. I like the purple and the orange. Okay, so I would disagree already. Houston, for me, is not number 30. St. Louis City. See, the Tina Turner one, I love the idea. And so I'm guessing that 29 in St. Louis is supposed to be like the waves of her hair in concert. I get it. Portland. Yeah. I mean, I'm having to think about this one. 100th anniversary of Providence Park. And I mean, you'd have to have some elements in there about Civic Stadium, and it's supposed to look like ivy crawling. It's supposed to be like Wrigley Field with ivy going up the sides, kind of like what they used to have at Civic Stadium. And I don't know. I don't know. So I would say, okay. Portland, I agree. It's not that, it doesn't look that good. Nashville is saying that, it's just more blue and yellow. Okay, so got it. Seattle with Providence, and it looks kind of the same. Maybe you're just a little bit more sublimated, so that's 3. Philly. Okay. Navy and gold. And I'm trying to see, but I mean, I like the sublimation there. I mean, it's supposed to be something constitutional convention-y. I mean, I get it. I don't think it's bad. So that's 25. Colorado is a black jersey. And I appreciate Colorado going for a black jersey. 30 years of club history. Okay, so yeah. Okay, so Abby is letting everybody see the Google Drive files for a picture of all the kids. I mean, if you're looking to rank things, I like Colorado's basic black. I mean, to me, it's a nice novel alternate. Columbus really doesn't look like they changed much, so that's 5. The Messi and Friends went black, and they, I mean, it's just it looks like the logos of both the kit maker, the crest, and your main sponsor, they're there. It's black and okay. 21 is Atlanta United. I mean, I love it. I on social media, like I said, here at SDH, what you're going to see our remembrances, recollections of everything 96 and so on. Here in the office, what I may do is I may do it here in the office. What the boss has done is she's really good with shadow boxes. And somewhere in my stacks, I still have the 96 golf shirts in plastic because I didn't want to open them and because I know what they would be, worth to folks. So I still have the golf shirts in plastic. The boss has her, and I'm staring at her shadow box right now. She has her ticket to the opening ceremonies, a couple of the pins that she has. She has her ID from being a part of ACOG volunteers. She's got her Swatch watch that she never opened. And she's got a nice little shadow box from all the things. And she's got some great stories. And I've got some great stories. And the idea for the alternate jersey for Atlanta United to celebrate 30 years, I thought it was cool. I mean, I thought it was a great idea. And seeing, for those of you that got to go into the reveal, it's tremendous stuff. And I'm going to go to the poorhouse. Yes, Columbus does have it has a real polo collar. It's got a collar on it. It kind of stops. It doesn't go all the way down. It's not like buttons or zippers or anything, but the Columbus jersey does have a collar attached. I get the floppy collar. I dig it. Link for a good shadow box for the Lamine Yamal signed jersey. Dell, let me talk to the boss because she's the one that has done the McElhenney, and she's done all of my jerseys that are off here over by the Big 55. So traditionally what we do, she'll wait for specials, and she will come up with places to do that. And let's see, my signed Charleston Battery Anniversary kit is in a box. My 404 kit and my 5 Stripes kit are in boxes. Her Cam Newton autographed football jersey is in a box. My Atlanta Thrashers jersey from '99 when they gave them to the media is in a box frame. And in my Jeff Garcia Calgary Stampeders autographed football jersey is in a frame as well, in my McElhenney. So, this is the Lance McElhenney. So for one of the favorite, and once again, here's probably Storytime with John. So we'll go ahead and font this Storytime with John. It's going to be one of those Fridays. And so let's go here. All right, so Storytime with John. Now, this frame here, for those that are watching off of my camera left shoulder, but it's off of my right shoulder, camera left, it is one of the favorite 30 for 30s that we have here in this house is Pony Excess on SMU. And so we could probably recite it chapter and verse, and we love Dale Hansen. I love Dale Hansen to begin with when he was a cranky sports anchor in Dallas, but Dale pretty much stole that show. And so that 30 for 30, anytime it comes on, we can quote it directly, and we've got some great quotes that are attached to it. Anyway, the quarterback during the glory time for SMU was the sawed-off quarterback Lance McElhenney. And he was the option quarterback that they went to when they flipped the switch and beat Texas and Austin and all that stuff. And Abby, I think that's might be where the boss gets hers, but I think it's close. It's either Michael's, but she does wait for a coupon. So anyway, we got, we love that 30 for 30. And so in messing around, we actually found that there was an auction, and I literally just found it randomly. An auction that had an autographed Lance McElhenney SMU jersey. And so I put money down for it, and McElhenney signed it, and he goes Pony Express, and he signs it on the both of the ones. And we ended up winning the auction. And so I think this kind of was where it all started, to be honest. After the Thrashers jersey and the Jeff Garcia jersey, that was the third one in. And she was like, oh, we've got to put that in a frame because, she loves the story of SMU football before they went on the death penalty. So she goes to where she goes, and she got that frame there, and ones like it are the ones that have the other jerseys here in the office and all that stuff. So I think Abby's on the right page. I think she is, because I think it was Michael's in a coupon, but I will ask. I think it's Michael's in a coupon. So I will ask about this, but yeah. So the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 that we have, they're coming this way. And so it is, so it is frames that she keeps an eye out for, but what I will do is I will ask her, but I think Abby's on the right path. I think it's Michael's in a coupon. I think that's how she waits. And so we have some other stuff that we have framed on the mid-level that are like actual artists and stuff. Same premise. So I think it's Michael's in a coupon. Don't quote me. And it's just that way. So Michael's in a coupon. But back to where we were with the jerseys. Yeah, Columbus, Miami, Atlanta, well, that's too low. Charlotte doesn't look like they changed much except for maybe the trim on the collar. Red Bull's lightning kit. Premise behind the roots, and it's roots of a tree coming from the collar. Okay. So, okay. Premise behind the roots meant to symbolize the club's growth. So, okay. So it's from the collar and its roots, and it looks like it's a lightning strike. And okay. So I would put Atlanta United's above Red Bulls. So that puts them. So it's 5 or 6. Sporting. I mean, I like the idea, and it is Argyle. And so they went Argyle. I like it, but it doesn't look like it's completely and totally Argyle. They stop it so you can have the center logo of the sponsor left alone. Okay. So, I mean, I would rate Sporting higher. Vancouver, like I said, I like the trim. I mean, it's very, very sharp. The dark blue is very, very sharp. I like the trim on the indigenous trim on the sleeves and on the collar. I like that. DC United, they really didn't do a whole lot to advance it. So DC United drops below 16 for me, drops below Atlanta United for me. Same with Fire. And so they go back to their old idea, the white stripe across the middle. Collar for Chicago as well. So blue sponsor across the front, but I would say Atlanta United's is better. Just because you have a collar and I'm old doesn't mean that I'm really going to rate you higher. Austin, vertical sublimated stripes on the primary and the secondary kit for the first time. And so it's a faded green, black lettering and black trim on the shoulders. I like it. Okay, so it's pale green and white, black stripes. Okay, I like it. I mean, it's a good idea. I think Austin probably stays where they are. San Diego. So, looks like it's more. Well, I'm not going to say lightning. So, I like the idea, but at times it looks like it might be a little too busy. So the blue and the orange, I'd like to see that maybe on a black jersey or on a darker jersey. So, okay, so San Diego's okay. A little too busy and a little too lightning-y at 13. Toronto, okay. The how many? 1, 2, 3. So 6 red stripes down the middle to go with the matching red collar, red stripes down the shoulders, red trim. I like this. That's very, very sharp. I like that. Sponsor on the front and a kind of like a sharpened TFC logo. Okay. Two-tone crest, black sponsor logo, stands out. Okay. I like that at 12. RSL, let's see. They kept the palette, they kept their main colors. So you have the cobalt, you've got the alternating red and blue, you have the gold stripes and the gold trim. That's very, very sharp. And then you have the sublimation with the Rocky Mountains. So I like that. Let's see. Orlando City, the purple team went gold. So they went gold with purple trim. And then you have so I'm like, I'm not a big yellow/gold person. So, okay. LA going back to their roots with the sash. I like that. Really like that. They have the sash and they have the it's not turquoise, but they have like that off green trim. I like LAGs. Okay, so LAGs at 9. Minnesota went back to their kind of season 1 kind of a thing. It's like we see with Huntsville City with their space approach. So Northern Lights kit, kind of. I mean, if you dug the Northern Lights kit, you would dig this one. Just that big Target logo right there in the middle. You want to talk about having a Target, and they've got it. New York City FC, I like that. I like that. And it is very, very. So the crest is somewhat sublimated, and you have pigeons that are attached to it. I like the idea. I need the explanation though. So it is a very good looking shirt. So NYC at 7, CF Montreal at 6, worn by the 2015 squad. So that was the Impact side that made it to the CONCACAF Hemispheric Extravaganza final. I like it. I like the white, and I like the idea that the blue paint that's going north and south kind of runs out of paint at points so you can see the sponsor. And so very, very good. And also, they've partnered with ProCure in the fight against prostate cancer with the kit. So bonus points for you there. Okay, so CF Montreal, okay. San Jose with the tie-dye. And tie-dye can go any one of two ways. You can either really like it or you can not like it. And so San Jose's at 5. FCD, very, very sharp at number 4. FC Cincinnati, I don't know if I like the orange sherbet. Wavy look at 3. LAFC, very, very busy, black and gold with the Art Deco. I like that at 2. And the Revs they have listed at number 1 with the Revs and the heart at the crest and the splash. Atlanta United is not number 22 out of 30. Okay, we're going to get into Creek Cup. And we get to go to the magic of the bus. And so we'll see what this is like, because Justin Brantley and his group from Islands are heading north. Let's see where they are. So, Justin, where are you exactly? In trouble's where he is. Nothing like being on that stretch of I-16. Justin, where are you?
Hey, man, we just stopped in Dublin, so we are on our way north.
So when did west? No, just west. No, I'm like, you're kind of west, but Dublin is always a good jumping off point to do those kinds of things. And so being on that stretch of I-16, you know that this is going to happen. And so Justin Brantley and Islands are making their way north. They're getting ready for the 6 o'clock matchup. And I know that this is going to happen a lot, and I appreciate his forbearance. You're on that stretch of Lawrence County, brother. I know what it's like on I-16. Yeah, I know what that stretch is like, man.
Yeah, it's tough, man. We'll probably be going in and out of service all day long, but yeah, we're excited, man. We're optimistic. We're ready for the season to start, and we're thankful that we're getting blessed with the opportunity of coming up there and competing in the Creek Cup.
How did this come to be?
So I would say 3 years ago, we had a chance to. I reached out to Coach at Johns Creek. He reached out to me via email. They were supposed to play in the tournament in Jekyll Island, the Tournament of Champions. That is a tournament every year. And that weekend, it called for rain, and so there were so many Atlanta teams that were playing in the tournament and just needed a place to go. So Johns Creek reached out, Cambridge reached out, and I was just I had a few games to fill, and I was fortunate enough to be able to not only be able to have high school boys.
Yes.
I was fortunate enough to be able to have the field availability and the opening schedule, and so we hosted both those teams and just had a great relationship with Johns Creek coach. And when this opportunity came available, we reached out, and so we were fortunate enough to take a spot. So yeah, that's kind of how the relationship began, and getting excited about the opportunity for tomorrow's game.
When you look at last season, what lessons are you bringing forward from 25 to get you ready for 26?
Yeah, so we had our ups and downs. Last season we were a very, very good team. I thought, our record was good, in a sense, but also, we had our struggles. We lost 3 games in terms of, our PK shootouts. We were 0 for 3 last year in PKs, which was very, very unfortunate. And we lost to Union Grove in our 10th shooter. In one of the PK shootouts, we lost to Country Day the same way, and then Cambridge as well. All 3 of those losses in PKs. So, our record was a little bit different, or not as good as what we had hoped. And this year we were able to, our first actual game of the season against Country Day, win our first PK shootout. So it was a good little turnaround. But yeah, we've got a really, really strong team. We graduated 4 guys, 2 of which were starters. So we were returning a lot of guys from that team last year, and again, very optimistic for the outcome this year.
So if I were to ask you, one of the things that we're doing this year is we're doing what we call the Georgia call-up. When you watch me over when I'm talking high school football on Georgia Public, we do what we call make that kid an offer. And it's about those student athletes that are flying below the radar for one reason or another. Either they're not getting the look you think they deserve, they're getting looks, needs to be looked at by higher levels of competition, or they're not getting looks at all. Is there anyone on your roster coming into this season that you would sit there and point to folks and sit there and go, yeah, take a look at this person here for 2026?
Yeah, man, I might be a little biased, but I think there's a few of them that are not getting the look. And me and a lot of the other coaches talk about this, and it's it's very unfortunate, with the way that soccer is, I guess, these days. It's a smaller sport, and I grew up in Georgia. I understand how it works. I know that football is king, right? And so with Title IX, that's a great thing. But the problem is, with boys sports, you don't have the necessary scholarships for sports like soccer. So, a lot of coaches, especially these days, if they're looking, overseas, or they're looking, elsewhere for talent that, doesn't provide many of our student athletes a chance to go to that next level. And if they do, they have to take, different steps to get there. So, we are fortunate. We have JJ Stein, who's committed at Cedarville University in Ohio. He is our loan right now in terms of student athletes that are committed to the next level. We have, I would say 3 guys in particular, juniors, that I think that stand out is Tal Harlan. He's pretty much our heart in the midfield. He is, our number 10, does everything for us in the midfield. We have Charlie Neal, who, Buffalo plays center back, but for us plays the 6. And then, we have our center back and Alex Roma. All 3 of those are juniors, and all 3 of them have started since their freshman year, and have played fantastic. So I would say those 3 are definitely 3 guys that we look to.
Absolutely. So when Alex and Julian decide that they want to go 1v1 against each other, who's the better Roma in those situations?
Man, it is a tough way. That's something that we have to try to calm down at practice, because that happens a lot, and you would be surprised at how many ankles get clipped and how much trash talk gets talked between those 2. It is a fun rivalry. But yeah, sometimes we've got to calm the tempers down, because they are both true competitors. In terms of it just depends on the day. There's some days where Julian gets the better of Alex, and Alex gets the better of Julian. So it's a 50-50 match most times, but it's always enjoyable to watch.
All right, what kind of a matchup are you expecting tonight against GMC as we broadcast it at 6 o'clock on the listen side of it at SDH?
Yeah, man. The great thing about these competitions in these games is that you really know nothing about the opponent. I mean, I've reached out to Kevin Roberts, the coach for Union Grove, and me and him grew up together. We played club soccer together in South Atlanta, and so I'm fortunate enough to be from that area as well. So I've made a lot of great friends in the coaching industry, and so I reached out to him because they played them the other night and got a little scouting report on them. But again, you still, from a scouting report, you still don't know much about the team. And so I think that to us bodes well, because the unfortunate thing about playing teams that you're familiar with is you get complacent, or you have these thoughts in your mind of, hey, this player's going to play this way, and this player's going to play that way. And so, having no familiarity with a team, I think allows us to play more free in our style of soccer, which I think is going to be very beneficial. And a lot of respect for GMC. I think they are a great team. I've followed them closely through the years, and their coach has done a fantastic job of building that program.
All right, so the itinerary for the rest of your day as you head north. You stopped in Dublin already for a kind of, it sounds like a little bit of a brunchy deal. So what's the rest of the day?
Yeah, so we left today. The boys arrived at the school at 7:30. We loaded the bus at 8. We are heading west right now. We're on I-16, passing mile marker 33 as we speak.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna take a little detour. Go through Warner Robins a little bit backwards, but we are gonna stop at Buc-ee's for about 30 to 45 minutes.
That's boy.
That's what the chant you heard earlier from the boys in the back. That's our trip. And then we're going to make our way up north through Atlanta, and then Alpharetta. We're going to stay somewhere in Alpharetta, and have a game at 6, and then after that, our hotel is actually connected to a parking lot of Buffalo Wild Wings. So that's where we'll be tonight. So yeah, it's going to be an enjoyable trip. I enjoy things like this. It's a team bonding trip, but it's also really competitive games. And so couldn't ask for a better opportunity for the boys.
Okay, brisket or pulled pork?
Oh my God, pulled pork all day long.
And for me, the banana pudding is underrated.
Oh yeah. I love the Texas cheesesteak as well. That is phenomenal.
Okay, it'll be great to see you at Northview. Drew Dickinson and I will have the call on the SDH network when you guys make your way up to Northview. It'll be great to see you. Thanks for dropping by and doing it live on the bus. So I can't thank you enough, Justin. That was fantastic.
Appreciate it, John. Have a good day.
All right. There goes Justin Brantley, the head coach at Islands. That's the beauty of it. I reached out to Justin yesterday, and I said, I've got a thought. Literally, I got back from calling day one, and I was like, Justin, I got a thought. Hey, where are you? Are you on the road? What are you doing? And he's like, yeah, I'll give it a shot. And so I said, just call me after 10 o'clock, and we'll see what it's like. So Islands is on their way up to Northview, and so my guess is that when they get to there's like a Warner Robins bypass exit on I-16 and they are going backward to go forward. So there's an exit on I-16 where you can bail and go kind of southwest. You go past the Macon Airport, and you kind of drift a little further south onto the highway that you keep going down 75, and then you can duck out the Billy Henderson Parkway, and you go and you hang out at Buc-ee's for a little bit. Now, I'm glad that Justin is team pulled pork, and I did not know about the Texas cheesesteak because obviously with the hyper processed cheese, I would look like I would turn 14 all over again. But it's good to know about the Texas cheesesteak. The fact that they're going to a Buc-ee's as a part of their field trip to come up here, get ready for 6 o'clock. I'm just hoping, I'm literally just hoping that when they stop at Buc-ee's, that they don't wind themselves up and get completely and totally overweighed, because you know how cheesesteaks are. In a good form, cheesesteaks will weigh you down because the cheese is fantastic. The cheesesteak in and of itself is great, but I'm literally hoping that you have cheesesteaks, or at least if you're going to put them off to the side, you don't want the guys to eat entirely too much cheesesteak unless they're still into that part where they have like 9,000 calories a day and they burn them all off. So the cheesesteak worries me a little bit, because if it sits and they're on the bus and they're traveling on the bus after they've had the cheesesteak, then that's a bit of a concern for me. So we'll see. We'll see what it looks like. But excellentness, nicely done. And we thank the 5G gods for making sure that Justin could hang out with us. But so it's Dublin, Buc-ee's and Warner Robins, then north, and their hotel is attached to a B-dubs. That's what travel does for you. So Islands is going to make their way tonight, and it is, yeah. Oh, boy. Yeah, so. But yes, Buc-ee's is out of the way, but they're going to do the detour and they're going to go to Buc-ee's. Okay, so tonight, once again, on the SDH network over on SDH2, it is Islands and GMC at 6 o'clock from Northview. Drew Dickinson and I will have the call for that one. Tallulah Falls and Northview will follow, and we will get you ready for that one as well. And interesting story, once again, if you missed it, with Jeremy Steele and Tallulah Falls. He's a Northview alum, and so he still has his Letterman jacket in his closet at his parents' house, who still live in the district. So interesting back and forth there with Tallulah Falls and Northview. Islands and GMC, that's going to be at 6 o'clock tonight. Maddie and Jason will have boys action with Gilmer and Dunwoody, and we'll get to see what the Cats continue to do as they build their program in Ellijay, followed by Lee County and Johns Creek, and so that one will be available to you there as well. Lokeville with a question. Good morning, Lokeville, by the way. What is the team looking like from what I know? Because the preseason games are closed. Yeah, and that's, I think, by somewhat mutual design. But, I mean, obviously getting Latte Lot on the score sheet is what you're looking for. You're looking for him to be healthy. I think that last year, coming straight from the championship and from his time over in the second tier in the EFL, you're kind of going, I mean, the guy didn't really get a break going from the EFL to Atlanta United. And so did he hit a wall? Was he grinding? Those kinds of questions would be there. So Latte Lot, healthy, break after last season, had a chance to just kind of catch his breath a little bit, and you're seeing those instant returns so far. I think that you're looking at Thomas Jakob, and you're seeing him not necessarily as a right back. You're seeing him listed as more of a midfielder, but remember what we talk about when it comes to formations. Formations are a construct, and it is a loose construct. Just because you see a graphic on Apple TV does not mean that that is what it's going to look like once the whistle blows. You could, I mean, legitimately, you could have a lineup like, you literally could have a lineup like Jaden Hibbert and Lucas Oyos, and they're battling each other to figure out 1 and 1A or 1A and 1B, however you phrase it. And you need Lucas Oyos, A, to help bring Jaden Hibbert along, that experienced voice that's going to be there in addition to your coaching staff and all that. So if you were to go and say in net, some combination of Jaden Hibbert and Lucas Hoyos. We know what we get with Jaden Hibbert, but you have the experience of Lucas Hoyos. You're going to be in multiple competitions. You need that. And then behind Hoyos, with the twos, you've got John O'Ransom and James Donaldson. So the GK University is working its way up. Left back, you've got an injury concern with Dominic Chongqui, who's out the next 4 to 6 weeks because of a knee sprain that he picked up in the matchup on the weekend against Houston in Hell in a Shell. So he was lifted after 55 minutes, and he's going to be out for the next month at least. So at left back, you're looking at some combination of Pedro Amador and Elias Baez once his paperwork has been given the okie doke. And I think that might be another reason why you're seeing what you're seeing at the back, where Jakob is playing more in the midfield, at least off the top, because if when you get everybody healthy, then and you have Elias Baez in, what does it look like at the back? You're looking at some combination of Baez / Amador. You're looking at some combination of Mihai, Barakal, Gregerson, Matt Edwards. And then at right back, you're looking at, say, Tomas Jakob and Ronald Hernandez and what have you. Once again, depth in multiple positions is what you're looking for. So if you go, that's your 4 in net. Then your 2 6s, you're looking at, once again, some combination of a healthy Jay Fortune, Tristan Muyumba, Steven Alzate, and, a Will Riley perhaps, Cooper Sanchez a part of that discussion. Then and then when you bring in Jay Fortune, you introduce that competition that's attached there. Morning, Will. Your 3 attacking midfielders. Obviously, the question's going to be on the left. What do you do there? But Tata is very high on the combination of Miranchuk and Almiron, understandably so. So if you have Miggy and Alexi being more the point guard of that 3 attacking midfielders, and you let Alexi drift, you let Miggy drift, and whoever is going to be on the left-hand side doing the same thing, some combination probably of Saba and Luke Brennan. And then up top, because of now Jamal Tiare being sent to Columbus, it is Latte Lot. Are you looking for another name? And it is going to be, Cayman Togashi, and maybe you're looking for somebody else. So you're looking at a backup striker to help out with Latte Lot and Togashi. And then you've got your other pieces that you picked up at the back. So, you're really looking right now. You might be looking for just a backup striker to have your roster locked in the way that you're looking. But you like the competitions that you're seeing. You like the ideas that you're getting from all of this competition. And so, what's it going to look like? Like I said, I would use as a base in your brain the idea that 4-2-3-1. Is it going to look like a 4-2-3-1 once the whistle blows? Probably not. But if you were to sit there and take that idea, the Christmas tree, the 4-2-3-1, and apply it to all of the thoughts that are there, then you're, left wing, left attacking midfield, and then backup striker. Question at left back, who's going to start? Once again, the injury of Dominic Chongqui. And then you bring in Baez once the paperwork is there, and Pedro Amador. Center backs look like the 4 that's going to be there. Right back, your 1 and your 2. Then your 6s, you have a good handful of folks that you can choose from. And those that can play the 2, they can also be a part of your deference in the midfield. And if you let Miggy and AM59 cook. So, literally you're looking at like backup striker to help with your roster depth. So are they looking for somebody? You're looking for another midfielder, as we were discussing this morning when it comes to Matias Galarza Fonda. So keep an eye on River Plate. And, then you're, But no, I think that it's good that you have these these contested position battles, because like I said, you're in multiple competitions this year. You need that depth. And so that's what you're looking at. Santi Pita getting reps. And the trialist. Do not know who the trialist was. Just know who the trialist. There was trialist attacker, and so you have trialist attacker. So I thought that was interesting the other day. So trialist attacker forward, trialist. Okay, let's see. So let me see if there was if there's anybody else that I missed when it comes to that last matchup. Okay, so it was Torneo de Tejas 3-2. So it was Toto Majub getting minutes. Okay, that's cool. So starting lineup last time out against Red Bulls. Hibbert, Hernandez, Mihai, Gregerson, Matt Edwards. And so Ronald, Mihai, Gregerson, Matt Edwards, and you had substitutes of Barakal and Toto Majub. Toto Majub probably going to start with the twos as he continues to grow. Midfield, Tomas Jakob, Adrian Gill. Adrian Gill is an interesting case. Is he going to be a part of game day rosters, or is he going to be getting time with the twos to get his reps in? Tristan, Alzate, Will Riley, Cooper Sanchez. Trialist forward, Luke Brennan, Togashi, Saba Latelat. So, and who did not play Lucas Hoyos, Aiden Torres, Santi Pita. Aiden Torres, Santi Pita, probably with the twos. Maybe getting cups of coffee along the way. Once again, think multiple competitions. Toto Majub, twos. Gill, maybe the twos. Cooper, Will Riley, probably going back and forth. Man, they got to fix that rule. And then trialist, like I said, don't know who trialist was. Trialist forward, no clue. But I'm guessing that trialist forward might be getting more minutes in Frisco on the weekend against FCD. Remember, early afternoon kick Eastern time, and it is not streamed. So rely on your favorite social media platforms to get all of your details out of Frisco, Texas. So you're like I said, position battles are good. DCQ's injury bad, just on premise, because you want everybody to come through camp healthy. And I'm looking forward to Dominic Chongqui continuing to, grow in his role. So, like I said, you might be looking for, once again, with Baez coming in, you're looking backup striker. And we'll see how Trialist was, if Trialist continues to improve their work. And so we'll see if Trialist continues with FCD coming up this weekend. Abby, great to see you, and have a good weekend. Back to the jerseys, I don't think Atlanta United's 22nd. I think that you had a lot of good ones, but I think that the simplicity of Atlanta United and that kit paying homage to something 30 years ago, it's gorgeous. And I'm going to be a poor man. So that's what you're hunting for. All right, so let me go through and say hi to everybody before we get into all the other things. MLS has trotted out their plan for 2026 when it comes to broadcast. That was a media conference that happened yesterday. We have the first 30-second ad that is attached to this campaign. We'll go through what the changes are for Major League Soccer heading into 2026. So morning, Abby, morning, Ricky, morning, David. And happy birthday to Ropes. Far out. Good deal. So morning, Ricky. Like I said, and Abby, it's not 22nd. You have people who look at, and I know that we're biased here in this footprint, but I mean, legitimately, if you were to sit there and scroll down, I'm thinking better than you, 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 yeah, better than you. Better than you, 9. Better than you, 10. Better than the Argyle at Sporting Kansas City, 11. Better than Red Bulls, 12. Charlotte, 13. 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, I would have it like just outside the top 10. I would have it just outside the top 10. So I'd have it like 11th. And just to let you know who I think is better, and I mean, literally, this is just me looking out loud, thinking out loud, and I'm not going to put them in numerical order, but the ones that I think are good kits out of the 30. I like Houston's purple and orange. I like that. I like the Tina Turner kit from St. Louis. I like the Philadelphia Union kit just because of the homage to Philly. Obviously, I like the Atlanta United stuff. I like Vancouver because of the trim and the First Nations trim. I like that. And so, I mean, if you said, oh, it's just plain, then that's fine. Then it would be top 10. But I like because of the First Nations trim. Then, I mean, RSL, solid. It's very, very sharp colors. I like the Galaxy homage with the sash. I like NYC with the sublimation. Tie-dye, yeah, I can give or take. I mean, you got to go down that road. CF Montreal is okay, but once again, because I liked what I saw with RSL, I like what I see with Dallas. Cincinnati, but LAFC, yes, and the Revs, yes. But I think that I like Atlanta more than the Revs. So I would have Atlanta as a top 10. I wouldn't have it 22nd. That's just a bit too much. Probably the off-center green banner. But the thing is, if they understood the history attached to it, then I think they would get it. Oh, what's this off-center green? It has to do with our Olympics 30 years ago. Think about it. So the fact that there was that much thought that was put into the design, I would have it top 10. So there you go. Top 10 from me. And we all know that that my opinion means so much across the grand scheme of things. Okay, so SKC, Abby says, SKC is dope. Let's see. Several lists, according to David, boldest and new looks, it was rated very high, did not make the classics list. Yeah, so it was an homage, but it was an homage to a past event. So it was historic. So it was historic on its own. It was not a classic because Atlanta's soccer history, if you went classic, you'd have to do an homage to Generals, Classics, Chiefs, Apollos, that kind of a thing. It's its own animal. It's its own animal talking about the history of the city. So 30 years off. Dell, good morning. 22 of 30 on CBS, whatever. 21 of 30 on ESPN. Whatever. Stop it. Dell, when we head into the discussion with Dr. Jen, got tickets in Atlanta, don't know where a good place to stay is for like a week or so. Airbnb. I would stay, Dell, legitimately what I would do is yes, what Abby said is correct. Anywhere off the MARTA line, because all you got to do is hop on MARTA and you can get in, you can get out. So look at your pricing. And it might be somewhere legitimately, honestly, Dell, it might be Decatur. Because if you're looking for venue and you're looking for prices, check the hotels in Decatur Watch Fest. And this is me thinking out loud, because if you go along the north-south line, you go along the north-south MARTA line, then you're thinking Midtown, Sandy Springs, that could get expensive just on premise. You go south, you're getting closer to the airport. People are going to want to stay at the airport so they can hop on and hop off. So I'm thinking maybe Decatur, Avondale, out that way. You've got Decatur Watch Fest that's going to be right there. So look into Decatur, Avondale Estates. That's just me thinking out loud. But yes, anywhere off the train line is huge. Off the train line. Let's see. And Abby doesn't like teams keeping their nicknames after they move. Let's see. So that's a good question, Dell. I would imagine you could. I don't know why that Coordle would turn down one person using it. So I would see my free. I would use my free login to see if you could do it as one person. So, but yeah, Dell, check Decatur. Check Decatur and Avondale Estates. Morning, David. Morning, Lokeville. And yeah, Dell, I'll look, but I think it's Michael's with a coupon for the shadow boxes. Let's see. Morning. Yeah, Bucky's. Unbelievable. Morning, Will. Happy college baseball opening day. That's right. The Daytona 500. Set your programs and your fantasy teams appropriately. And okay, so and Will's asking, and happy Valentine's Day to those who celebrate each. The boss and I kind of think of Valentine's Day as a day that everybody celebrates. Why do you need to celebrate when you get to be with that person for the other 364 days? Why just take one to celebrate? Why not celebrate all 365? So the boss has some stuff that she's got to do. Obviously, I've got Creek Cup on Saturday, and she's going to go do some judging on Sunday. And so what we're going to do when she comes back from her judging activity Sunday, I'm going to go get dinner from our favorite restaurant. We're going to have it at home. That's what we're doing. I had 3 things that I'm giving her on this particular holiday. She already has one. I don't know if the second one is going to be here in time because it's a made to order, and I don't think they've gone to production yet. Third thing I have. But we celebrate all 365. It's not just something that we sit there and go, oh, it's the 15th, it's the 14th of February, therefore. No, we don't do it that way. We celebrate all 365. And this is always a $20 fine if I forget this and I leave the house. So the wedding band has got to stay on. No, I don't know. Look, well, I think it's going to be a 4-2-3-1. But I think legitimately, honestly, if you think about it, like I said, don't get locked into formations. What it looks like on a graphic is not going to be how it acts when they're on the field. So regardless of what you may see, when the whistle blows, all bets are off. Sure, it could look like a 4-2-3-1. Depending on the opponent, it could be a 3-5-2. But that 3-5-2 would be something that you develop into during play, not something that you're going to line up in. So don't be surprised this season on TV if you end up with a 4-2-3-1 graphic or a 3-5-2 graphic, and then style of play shifts how you react to it. Just don't be surprised if what we see with Atlanta United instantly changes the second the whistle blows. I'm just saying. So formations are a loose construct. Just because you're standing in a place doesn't mean that's where you are. It's not going to be a static activity. So keep an eye out for that. David, yes, Decatur, solid walkable restaurant scene. Airbnb options might exist in Inman Park and Inman Park and Candler Park as well for the World Cup too. Yeah. So I'd go out east. I'd go Inman Park, Reynoldstown, Decatur, Avondale Estates. I'd go that way. So go out east, like Decatur, start there and work your way because you can hop on the MARTA line pretty easy and go into town. All right. Okay. So what's going on this weekend? Well, let's find out what's going on this weekend, other than Creek Cup, which we've talked about a couple times, and we will hit that one more time before we get out of here. We've already had opening kickoff. That was Dr. Jen. And opening kickoff brought to you by our friends at Black Pitch Coffee, blackpitchcoffee.com. Start your day with the most important stories in the game. Right way to start your morning. Black Pitch Coffee, part of the SDH community, showing up at events all over Atlanta. Try their home blend made with beans from Brazil and Guatemala. Heavy body, notes of walnut, semi-sweet chocolate, and a rich world-class finish. Opening kickoff powered by Black Pitch Coffee. Now, what to watch, where to watch it, how to watch it. Brought to us by our friends at Fanatis, ftz.co/soccer down here. That link is important. It helps them, helps us, and helps you. Adding more matches to everything you're already watching. Fanatis, you get all the BNs. All the BNs, which means you get Polish League, you get French League, you get AFCON, you get the CAF Champions League, which is going on right now. You end up getting Tigo Sports. You get CATV, Copa Argentina. You get TEC, and you get Paraguay, Colombia, Argentina, and watch the continued fall of River Plate. Maybe get some advanced scouting in on Matias Galarza Fonda. Watching River Plate. You get CDO. You get TVV. if you want to add Venezuela to your package and watch Winter League Baseball from South America, you could do that too. All at Fanatis, fntz.co, Liga 1 Max Pro. So literally, it is Peru, it is Colombia, it is Paraguay, it is Argentina, it is all of the South American leagues you can probably shake a stick at Fanatis, ftz.co/soccer down here. Okay, so what to watch today? Remember, as we've said, this is an FA Cup weekend. You will not have any kind of Premier League activity. Premier League activity ended yesterday. Brentford tying Arsenal at the G-Tech 1-1. Margins down to 4. Today, Liga doubleheader, 1 and 3:05 on BN. FA Cup on ESPN2 at 2:45, Hull City and Chelsea. FS2 doubleheader, the league that we don't talk about, endorse, or promote. BN Espanol simulcasting Liga. ESPN Plus, A-League, Eredivisie, FA Cup, Wrexham and Ipswich Town at 2:40 on the Plus. Bundesliga, Bundesliga B, Bundesliga 3, and La Liga at 3 o'clock. Fox ONE has the league we don't talk about. Paramount Plus, Serie A at 2:45. Pisa and Milan. They also have the FA Cup. Women activity, Women's Super League. It is Manchester City and Leicester City, and that is at 2 o'clock as well. Saturday, just to give you an idea as to what's on. Not going to give you the times because we know it's pretty much morning through early afternoon. Liga, triple header, being an Espanol. CBS Sports Network Championship, Derby County, Swansea City at 10. Being an Espanol simulcasting. ESPN Deportes. Premier League, well, it's FA Cup. Manchester City and Salford City at 10. La Liga triple header in and around that. Fox Deportes, Serie A, Liga MX, Juarez and Necaxa at 8 tomorrow night. Telemundo, Guadalajara, Chivas, and Club America at 10 o'clock. Ooh, Super Clásico. TUDN, Monterrey and León is at 8 tomorrow night. Same on Universo at 10 with Chivas and Club America. Golazo. Championship, 10 o'clock. Watford and Preston North End. League One before that, Stevenage and Huddersfield. Then at noon, Lazio and Atalanta. ESPN Plus has all the FA Cup action. We'll go into juice boxes in a second. A-League, Eredivisie, FA Cup, Bundesliga, Bundesliga B, Bundesliga 3, La Liga triple header. Fox ONE has Serie A, Serie B, the league we don't talk about, and Liga MX. Fox Soccer Plus, Serie B, and the league we don't talk about. Paramount Plus, Serie A, English Championship, League One, League Two, with our friends from Shrewsbury and Swindon at 10 o'clock. Women's action, it is Fox Deportes has Liga MX Femenil with Juarez and Pumas. A-League on ESPN Plus, Fox ONE, Serie A, Liga MX, Fox Soccer Plus, Serie A, very early. Peacock has the Super League for the USL, all 4 matchups, 2 at 2 o'clock, 2 at 7:30. Sunday, BNB and Espanol simulcasting Ligue 1. Kilmarnock and Celtic, Scottish Premiership, CBS Sports Network, 9 o'clock. FA Cup on ESPN2. BN Espanol simulcasting French League. Deportes, quadruple header La Liga. Fox Deportes, doubleheader Serie A. Honduras Liga Nacional, Sunday night at 8:30. It is Liga MX, Cruz Azul and Tigres, simulcast on Univision. Golazo Network, quadruple header on Serie A, and Liga MX at 5:30. ESPN Plus, Eredivisie, FA Cup, Bundesliga, Bundesliga B, Bundesliga 3, La Liga 2, Fox ONE, Italy, Serie A, Serie B, Honduras, Fox Soccer Plus, Serie B, Paramount Plus, Serie A, Scottish Premiership, Liga MX. Female women's action on Sunday, Women's Super League, triple header, Fox ONE, Fox Soccer Plus, Serie A, Femenina. Okay, juice boxes. Let's get into that. So juice boxes for those matchups. We'll get into FA Cup juice boxes. Let's do that and see if there is anything on the board that could shock the entire planet. So let's go to England and go to FA Cup. It is the round of 32, and today 2:45. Ipswich a slight favorite at a plus 114 host going to the race course, and Chelsea a big favorite at Hull. No surprise. So on Saturday, West Ham big favorite at Burton Albion. Scotty Tuhati big favorite against Mansfield. Manchester City minus 5,000 hosting Salford City. Norwich plus 118 against West Brom. So it's Josh Sargent staring at his senior team, and George Campbell and Eric Ramsey for West Brom at plus 213. So Norwich favored at their place against West Brom. Port Vale and Bristol City has been postponed until March the 3rd. So unsuitable ground. Didn't make the cut. Southampton favored against Leicester City. Aston Villa favored on the plus side against Newcastle. Liverpool big favorite against Brighton. Keep an eye on Fabian Hertzler and his future. Sunday, it is Leeds favored at Birmingham City. Wolves favored at Grimsby Town. Sunderland favored at Oxford United. Fulham favored at Stoke. Arsenal minus 2,000 hosting Wigan at a plus 25.53. Monday night FA Cup, Monday night football. Macclesfield is a plus 981 hosting Brentford at a minus 476. So that's your breakdown of juice boxes for FA Cup for this weekend. So keep an eye on that. All right, Major League Soccer came out with their breakdown of the season and what they're going to be doing here in 2026. And they also have the new promotional ad to get you ready for this particular season. Here, courtesy of our friends at Major League Soccer, is said promotional advertisement.
Son?
Little bit too close, Magic.
Hold on. Oh, no.
What the hell?
Are you ready to kick it?
I'm fine.
Oh.
Hello, giant ball.
Hold on. Superstar.
Oh, that's amazing.
No, it's magic.
Let's go. Put me in, Magic.
Do you invite the whole league?
Are you ready to kick it?
I'm ready to kick it.
Freeze doesn't look ready to me.
I'm ready to kick it.
See you there.
Why am I muted when I'm backstage? I just want to talk. That's all I want to do. So that's your new ad for Major League Soccer with our buddy Magic Johnson. And so here is what MLS has planned for the season here in 2026. So it is a quick rundown of what they're looking for. Let me see if I can find it here quickly. No, I don't want to go there. I know that that's my Google account. So quickly. Okay, so here is the rundown of what's going on and breaking out the 26 season. So you saw the ad that's going to start the ad campaign. You're going to have a big focus on the fan engagement initiative in 26, national marketing, storytelling, local fan engagement, and it's unified under the single consumer vision. And so the national marketing and media campaign, global player and club storytelling, fan experiences, and the World Cup aligned season structure. So MLS is back, 3 campaigns. You've got the call that you just saw. Then you're going to have the opening weekend campaigns, and you're going to have 2 games in Los Angeles. But the 2 big games in Los Angeles, back-to-back nights. And that is going to be the rollout of the Walmart Saturday Showdown. And so that's going to be a new big game on Saturdays for Apple. It's, as the league says, built around rivalry and unpredictability. First matchup, Messi and friends at LAFC at the Mausoleum. Not at BMO, but at the Memorial Coliseum. And that's going to launch Saturday Showdown. And you're also going to have the Where the Drama Lives campaign. And it's anticipation, rivalry, emotion, paid media, out-of-home, broadcast, digital. And it brings fans all the action that they cannot miss and should not miss here in 26. Then you're going to have Walmart with a big fan activation. And it's going to be at Hollywood at NYA Studios. And that's going to start that. Then Sunday Night Soccer is going to continue to be Sunday Night Soccer. And I think the number 1 team is going to be at both the game on Saturday night and then the game on Sunday night. So they're going to do the double. They're just going to go from downtown Los Angeles down the 5 to Carson and call both matches. Might be a 20-minute drive. So they got that one taken care of. NYCFC and LAG. And that is going to be the Sunday night soccer matchup presented by Continental Tire. And you're going to have the Sundays are made for this campaign. Transformational Sunday nights. And it repositions Sunday evenings as a national ritual. And you'll see those commercials being rolled out soon. So player-led content series, social platforms, and the Sunday Night Soccer Couch. Mobile fan activation traveling throughout Los Angeles. So if you're in Los Angeles and you see a couch with some cameras attached, that's the Sunday Night Soccer Couch. I'm fairly certain, unless somebody else has put a couch on their on a flatbed, and they're driving up and down the freeways in Los Angeles, but featuring special guests, engaging in fans leading into opening weekend. So it is now Saturday night, and it is the Walmart Saturday Showdown. And you're also going to have the Sunday Night Soccer presented by Continental Tire. So Walmart is your new Saturday sponsor for your Saturday standalone game. And then Continental Tire stays on Sunday for your pickup there. So that's what you're looking at when it comes to the season kickoff on the 20th. And you got to see the first 30-second ad that is attached to it. So had the big conference yesterday, and all of the other information that's going to be released when it comes to where folks are going to be, and all the announcers are going to be on site this year. So they both Major League Soccer and Apple understand the value of having all the announcers on site. So all the announcers are going to be on site this year. You're going to have a sideline in English and Spanish. And I think Andrew Wiebe moves to sideline Saturday. Jillian Sakovitz turns into English sideline on Sunday. So Jillian's going to be on the sidelines on Sundays for the activity with Major League Soccer. So you're going to have English and Spanish sideline reporters, English and Spanish broadcast crews for those matchups and for Sunday. And you're going to have Jillian on the sidelines with the number one team as they work through their Sundays. So that's your rundown and your knowledge, your know-how there that is anticipated for Apple TV and Major League Soccer come the 26th season. Man, it's a week away. Reminder, it is going to be the show of chaos a week from today. And with our friends from Major League Soccer and Apple TV, I don't know who's going to show up. It's going to be the voices that you hear and listen and see all season long on Apple TV. And I don't know who's going to show up. But we'll talk about the season, what they're looking forward to, what they remember from 25, all the things. So the Show of Chaos returns for its one of 3 or 4 appearances during the season here at SDH AM. Next Friday, 9:05, the Show of Chaos returns to get you ready for everything going on in Major League Soccer for 26. We're going to bring in a lot of our friends in the week next week, and it's going to be Casey White's going to return Tuesdays at 10. And we're going to try and catch up with some of our OGs, see what Jess Charman's up to, see if Kevin Egan can talk about his Irish pub in addition to the 25 season, all the things. And that'll be the big Show of Chaos is Friday, but we're going to be talking to all of our friends all week long, try and get the bat signal out to a couple of folks in a couple of markets in the Eastern Conference and find out what's going on in their minds. Let's see. So that means that Max Anderson in Chicago is on notice. Our buddy Lucas Panzica is on notice in Nashville. Mike Gramajo is on notice in Orlando. Willie P is on notice in Charlotte. And we'll go from there. Dave Johnson, maybe from DC. We'll see what it looks like. But we'll see with all of our friends, and we'll see who else can come in and collapse and collide, and we'll see what it looks like coming up in a week's time. But all next week, it's going to be getting ready for Major League Soccer and the kickoff of the 26th season. So very, very cool. Couple of notes in and around Major League or soccer, just in general. It looks like that Spurs have agreed to make their ex-Juve boss, Igor Tudor, their new interim manager, as a long Mauricio Pochettino plan has been revealed. And this comes from a bunch of different places, but we'll go to Talk Sport just to start. And so Spurs have agreed in principle with the 47-year-old Croatian, short-term appointment keeping alive a potential Mauricio Pochettino return come the summer. Former Juve and Marseille chief Tudor, seen as someone who can make an impact short-term as Spurs try to navigate away from relegation. Ex-Dortmund pair Marcus Rosa and Edin Terzic have also thrown their hats into the ring. No permanent option in the deal. Robbie Keane would be keen. I see how they did that. Robbie Keane on the job, but only on a permanent. And Roberto De Zerbi wants to take a break after being bumped at Marseille. So Talk Sport reminds us about Igor Tudor. And it will be, let me see if I can find the other piece of news that is attached to that. FA Cup 4th round tie postponed and immediately scheduled. We talked about that one with Port Vale and Bristol City. Where was it? Not there. Okay. So According to our friends at The Athletic, as I sit here and scroll quickly, once the verbal agreement came out just as the show went on the air this morning, David Ornstein verbally agreed to the deal with Tudor and moved for a temporary appointment following the dismissal of Thomas Frank. According to Ornstein, brings experience of working at big clubs, track record of making an immediate impact, former head coach at Juve, Marseille, and Galatasaray, set to join on a contract until the summer without an option to make the move permanent. Venkatesham, Johan Long have driven the interim appointment with the club, set to select from a wider pool in the summer for a permanent hire. Sacked by Juve after 7 months in charge in October, with the side 8th in Serie A, came after a winless 8-game run. And so that is that's the rundown from David Ornstein. That's the short version of the announcement of Igor Tudor and him becoming the interim in charge for Spurs for the remainder of the season. I'm trying to see if there's anything else that I might have missed. They're tempting me. Oh, wow. So let's see. Our friends at Islands are saying, do I want anything? Let's see, pulled pork sandwich and a large banana pudding. So that I placed my order with Island Soccer as they're going to Buc-ee's. So if I send it now. So let's see for the Creek Cup tonight, which will be at soccerdownhere.net, and you hit the listen tab. It's on SDH2. Drew and I will have those two matchups. Let's see if they bring the pulled pork sandwich and the banana pudding. That would be fantastic if they did, by the way. Okay, so you end up with now. I'm trying to see if there's anything else in the mail. We'll get into gossip, rumor, and innuendo coming up in just a little bit. And is the ABA pairing up with Home Field? You people. I get all my notes and everything, and I just saw in here ABA and Home Field. That is just not nice. That is not nice at all. So we'll see what happens there. Okay, gossip, rumor, and innuendo before we get out of here and let you know what else is going on the weekend. We got into what to watch, where to watch it, how to watch it. Don't forget to make your Daytona 500 picks and get ready for all of that. Now, who is targeting Pulisic? According to some folks at Spurs. Spurs have registered their interest in Christian Pulisic, open to a return to England from AC Milan this summer. That's from Team Talk. Then we mentioned Igor Tudor and Mauricio Pochettino. Got into that a little bit. PSG prepared to rival Chelsea, Manchester United, and Spurs with a £100 million bid for Brighton midfielder Carlos Baleba. United increasingly confident Harry Maguire will extend his Old Trafford contract beyond the end of this season. Newcastle prioritizing the signing of a striker in the summer window, with the club already looking to sell Nick Voltemade following his club record move in August. Okay. Lewandowski will wait to decide his future after the club's presidential elections in March, amid offers from AC Milan, Atletico de Madrid, Chicago Fire, Fenerbahce, and Saudi Arabia. That's from Mundo Deportivo. Bologna have tied Santi Castro to a new 4.5-year contract. Chelsea, Everton, Villa among his suitors. Remember, it's about controlling the asset. Manchester United, Arsenal, Chelsea, Spurs among the Premier League clubs keeping an eye on Club Brugge midfielder Alexander Stankovic. Manchester United expected to send club reps to watch Juve's defender Pierre Kalulu when they face Inter Milan on Saturday. That's from Tutto Sport. Manchester United are tracking Gambia and Tromsø defender Abubakar Sedikinte, who is 19, and Valencia Spanish center back Hugo Fernandez, who is 18, and that is from the 4-letter paper. So take the information at your own peril. Oh, I wanted to get into this. Canada Soccer. We probably will have more on this on Monday. Canada Soccer and their deal with Canada Soccer Business has been extended. New 11-year deal through 2037. Matt Hughes at The Guardian this morning extended their controversial, and this is his wording, extended the controversial sponsorship and broadcast deal with its privately owned commercial partner, Canadian Soccer Business, on improved terms for the governing body ahead of this summer's World Cup. A new 11-year deal agreed through 2037, both parties having an option to extend by a further 5 years, despite the infighting that we talked about in the 10-year deal that just completed. You also had player strikes, $40 million lawsuit 2 years ago. We covered that in depth. The 2023 parliamentary inquiry, Federation was only getting about $3 million a year from commercial and broadcast deals. Boycotted the friendly against Panama in 22, demanding a greater share of World Cup prize money, more travel benefits, equitable match fees with the women's team, who have been far more successful than the men's team. Women's team also struggled for funding under the previous deal. National outcry when only 20 players were invited to a training camp in preparation for 2023, she believes, less than 2 years after they won gold in Tokyo. Women's team also threatened to strike. Action was ultimately called off. Under terms of the previous deal, Canada Soccer was supposed to receive around $3.4 million from the CSB partnership in the World Cup year, and that number is understood to have increased significantly. New revenue sharing model introduced. In a new broadcasting deal, there is a commitment to ensure all international matches in Canada and, quote, Canada-friendly time zones, end quote, are televised live, as well as ensuring an equity of exposure between men's and women's national teams. This is where we need to catch up with our friends at Footy Prime, see if Amy Walsh can join us. Both parties agreed to review the terms every 3 years to ensure they continue to receive fair market value. CSB has now also been rebranded Canadian Soccer Media and Entertainment under the leadership of James Johnson, who used to be the CEO of Football Australia, who negotiated the new deal with Canada Soccer's chief exec, Kevin Blue. Statement made. Now, let's go to Joshua Clokey at The Athletic and see what Joshua Clokey has to say here about this one. Get your new landmark rights deal. Less than 4 months to go. Announced the landscape-altering renewed partnership agreement, according to Joshua. Should, according to Joshua Clokey, end years of contentious relations. New deal lead to the previous deal being aborted before its term was supposed to end. January 1, 26, so it's being backdated 6 weeks through December 31st of 2037. Those 3-year look-in periods are what they're referred to. So every 3 years, the 3-year reviews are called look-in periods, and the mutual option for a 5-year extension. So language early within the deal stresses that CSME will exercise diligent efforts in a professional manner and shall at all times act in good faith with a view to the best interest of Canada Soccer, as well as agreeing that CSME shall not subordinate the interest of Canada Soccer. And so Kevin Blue was happy about it. Clokey got a quote. And so how does it change? We mentioned what was wrong with the original deal. All the protests, strikes, all that stuff. We mentioned that. Multiple people knowledge of the CSB deal told The Athletic original terms saw CSB pay Canada Soccer between $3 and $4 million every year, all terms Canadian. Number rising incrementally over the 10-year term, regardless of what kind of sponsorship and media revenue is generated. One Canada Soccer board member, former member, told The Athletic in 23, quote, "We signed a bad deal." And so it now is a crucial step towards success in the World Cup, at least from Joshua Clokey's mind. So September of 24, Canada Soccer announces it reached the framework on a CBA. Canada Soccer wanted the revision to be more favorable to Canada Soccer, putting on a firm financial footing going forward. Given that Canada Soccer consulted both players' associations, development likely to be seen as acceptable, new CBA could lead to more efforts for players to promote and grow the soccer domestically. Canada Soccer says the players' associations are, quote, working closely with Canada Soccer to finalize the details of a collective bargaining agreement for ratification by their members. Gone is the previous structure about Canada Soccer getting that fixed rate, regardless of how much money was brought in. CSME now agrees to pay Canada Soccer $19.5 million in 2 payments, or eventually make an adjustment to revenue sharing split that puts 70% of the revenue in Canada Soccer's pockets. Crucially, Canada Soccer CSME dividing the revenue from sponsorship, broadcast, and licensing through a tiered sharing structure. Canada Soccer receives 50% of the gross for the first $10 million through each year of the deal. Every additional $1 million of revenue, Canada Soccer earns a continued 1% increase in the share of gross revenue. So if it's 11, it's 51%. 12, it's 52, and so on. Subject to an automatic increase to a 70% share of gross revenue for Canada Soccer at $22.5 million and above. Revenue sharing model makes it clear Canada Soccer, according to Clokey, betting on national teams and the growth of the sport domestically. And so now Canada Soccer, what happens with the media, we'll find out as we go. So that was big news with the CSB getting their rundown of all of the new negotiations. So the old deal is off, the new deal is in for Canada Soccer, and that's big. So big news for them, and when it comes to Canada Soccer. Trying to see if there's anything else that I might have missed here. We talked FA Cup, talked Creek Cup once again. Reminder, it is 6 and 8 today. Go to soccerdownhere.net, click the Listen tab, pick your matches. Drew Dickinson and I are at Northview. Islands and GMC at 6. Tallulah Falls and Northview at 8. Maddie and Jason at Johns Creek. Gilmer Boys, Dunwoody at 6. Lee County, Johns Creek at 8. And so that's your rundown for all the activity today at Creek Cup. And we'll be seeing you in and around and all about everything. Lokeville, as always, it's great to see you. And thank you for your questions and the Twitch pitch. And we'll be back at it again on Monday. So on Monday, we're kind of back to normal. And it is getting back to the life with Abe in a match week preview, Maddie in a match week preview, Bart with what's going on with soccer. Bart had mentioned on Monday Cat Macario and his gut feeling, maybe Bay FC. We can kind of advance it a little bit, where it now appears, according to Jeff Kassouf and Emily Keogh, as of when the show started this morning, San Diego are the current front runners to sign Cat Macario. Advanced negotiations to acquire, who will soon be out of contract with Chelsea. So she could sign a pre-contract, and Chelsea gets bupkis. Multiple sources confirmed to the four-letter that she received several offers from European clubs, including Barcelona. Preference is returning to the U.S. to be closer to home. Believed to be excited about the opportunity to experience playing in the NWSL for the first time. Previously reported several NWSL clubs have expressed interest. Would return her to Southern California, where she grew up after leaving Brazil as a 12-year-old in 2011. The Wave currently train adjacent to the fields that Macario's youth club, San Diego Surf, still uses. Macario played college soccer at Stanford, close to where Bay FC plays, and that was where Bart came up with Bay FC. Per FIFA regs, she can sign the pre-contract within 6 months of the current deal expiring. 16 goals, 29 appearances for the WNT. Became a U.S. citizen in late 2020. Expected to be an integral part of the WNT squad chasing after the World Cup in Brazil next season. Turned pro with Lyon after Stanford. Won the Champions League in Lyon in 2021. Joined Chelsea in 23. Most of the early months recovering from an ACL injury. Sidelined her for 20 months in total. And so now, Macario rejected a contract offer from Chelsea to extend earlier this week. Left out of the Champions League squad in January. Citing what Sonia Bonpastor had as injury issues. Suffering from a problem with her heel in January, according to Bonpastor. 9 WSL matches, 3 Champions League matches. Has been absent since early December. WSL transfer window closed on February 3rd. NWSL window is still open for incoming arrivals until March 16th. So she can sign a pre-contract. Chelsea gets nothing. Not that it would impact Chelsea at all, considering it's not even a transfer, really. Just, hey, I'm a free, and I'm moving. So Cat Macario is now linked to Wave. Igor Thiago signing a new Brentford deal with an option year through 2031. And so the pictures were released with that. So big signing for Brentford, keeping Igor Thiago in-house after the year that he has had. And let's see, Chloe Ricketts has been called up from Boston Legacy to the USU 20s. Training camp February 24th through March 3rd at the Elite Athlete Training Center in Chula Vista, California. And let's see, Minnesota United signing Kyle Duncan to a 1-year deal. And let's see if there's anything else that I've missed. And I think we're good. I think we're okay. So keep an eye on everything that's been going on, and we'll be back at it again on Monday morning. And we will let you know what's going on over the weekend. We will let you know what has happened, and we'll get you prepped because, like I said, it's going to be Creek Cup wrapping up on Saturday, getting ready for Monday. It's a match week. It's going to go quick, and everybody's going to be heading to Cincinnati if you're Atlanta United on the road. Mike and Jason leaving on Friday, heading to Cincinnati. And after that, they head to San Jose. Then after that, they come back for the home opener. Well, I'll be there for that with RSL. And then match day 2, sadly, I will be in Macon all week for the high school basketball championships. So the Hoff will have you covered for match day 2 at Mercedes-Benz, match day 4 in the overall. But that's the early rundown of all that. Okay. Thanks to all of y'all for coming in for yet another busy week. So let me run through the week just to let you know what it was like this week. So Dr. Jen and Coordle, 2 O's, Coordle, Coordle app. Great to catch up with her. Kelly Schuldice from the Northern Super League to get the update there. Nino and Nico, as always. Ronan Wynn, Aaron Adams from NXT Soccer, Lagos Kunga now at Portland. By the way, Ronan Wynn back home at Auckland FC in the OFC League. Kurt Badenhauser with Sportico with all of the numbers that they crunched with MLS franchise values. Great to see him. It's quickly caught up with James Donaldson from St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and also Professor Brett Myers from Villanova to find out about analytics and how he uses analytics to gauge where folks are and what he thinks of the U.S. men's national team. So it's a very, very busy week. Don't forget to listen to the best of SDH AM on 929thegame.com at the Off the Woodwork podcast section on the Odyssey app and all the points in between. So for all of us here to all of you there, thanks for being around for yet another week here at SDH AM. Since it is the end of yet another week, there's only one way to end it. And here's how we end it. Play it safe, everybody. Creek Cup tonight, 6 and 8. Creek Cup all day tomorrow on the SDH Network. Play it safe, everybody. Enjoy.
The war was on. The keys on the typewriter had sharp points that kept sticking into our fingers. The dictating equipment started asking us questions, and our beepers sent electric shocks just through our body like a cattle prod. Out in the warehouse, the trucks kept banging into the docks, not even thinking about stopping. Oh, our frail bodies were strapped to the chairs, and our chairs were chained to the desks. Our pleas for justice were ignored, and the end seemed near. But we busted our slave drivers' little bitty balls. We've charged out of their brick fortress. The streets are ours.